Is your mistress completely different than your wife? It's not uncommon for a man to love his mistress more than his wife. Lots of reasons can be the cause of this. For one, the mistress is often seen as a symbol of freedom and excitement. She represents something new and different, which can be very appealing to a man. Additionally, the mistress is often more attentive and sexual than the wife, which can also be a major draw for a man. While a mistress might not be able to provide the stability or long-term commitment of a wife, she can certainly offer something that is very appealing to a man who is looking for an escape from his mundane life. Can a man love his mistress more than his wife? There are quite a number of cases where married men have actually confessed to finding themselves in a more than physical relationship with their mistress than their wives. In the book Cheatin' Gland, The Secret Confessions of Men Who Stray, an eye-opening and explosive study explores why men cheat, how they do it, and the repercussions that infidelity has on every aspect of life. In this book, we read the real-life stories of married men who have had affairs and how those affairs have changed their lives forever. Let's navigate some of the stories. My mistress knows me in a way my wife never will. While answering a question on Quora, an anonymous user confessed to loving his mistress more than his wife. He also explained the reasons why. The user says that he loves his wife, and they have a good relationship. However, he feels that his mistress knows him in a way that his wife never will. He says that his mistress is completely different than his wife. He explains that his mistress is more understanding and patient, and she always makes time for him. Additionally, the user says that he opens up to his mistress more than he ever has to his wife. He says his girlfriend provides him an easy platform to share his innermost thoughts and feelings. From his submission, you can easily pick up that these have built a great communication channel between each other. The way he expresses his compatibility with his mistress shows you he really loves his mistress more than his wife. The key takeaway also is the time they have managed to be together while he was still married to his wife. What's not clear though is if the wife knows about this secret arrangement. But I think it's highly possible the wife knows about it, because I don't think a man can keep something like that from his wife for long. I was suffering and my wife did not understand me. Another I love my mistress more than my wife story came from one of my fans who wrote to me in quest for trying to justify why men cheat. He said the reason he loved his mistress more than his wife was because his wife could not understand him. This man added he was internally struggling with the idea of wanting to be with other women, and his wife's reaction to it only made things worse. He said his wife would get mad at him whenever he would talk about their affectionless relationship, which made him feel like she was suffocating him. Additionally, he felt that his wife was always judging him and never really listened to him. These are all emotional struggles that I never get to feel when I am with my mistress. She is always there for me, and I never feel like I am being judged. The takeaway here is men do not understand wife's stress and hardship. Men think they are suffering but the wife doesn't understand and perhaps the wife don't care. Wives on the other hand, feel that their husbands do not understand what they go through every day. Who is understanding? A mistress? She will pet, coo and give sympathetic replies as she is pursuing him. Men do not know this painful truth. She is a spider weaving her web of fantasy to trap him. He becomes obsessed and nothing will stop him from seeing her. My wife, a beautiful girl, was selected by my parents. Another I love my mistress more than wife story came from another user on Quora. He said the reason why he fell out of love with his wife was because she was not his first choice. He said that he had always been in love with his childhood friend, but she was not interested in him. So, when he was ready to get married, his parents selected a beautiful girl for him and he married her. However, even after getting married, he could not stop thinking about his childhood friend. Make his actions match his promises. Order your help now. Make an order for a spell to make him leave his wife for you at MNkima.com. He said that he would often compare his wife to her, and he found himself constantly drawn to her. Eventually, he started having an affair with his childhood friend, and he realized that he loved her more than his wife. He complains, he was so incompatible with his wife that it was inevitable for him to cheat on her. He mentions he was a fun-loving person, but his wife was a serious type by nature. She was a woman who never laughed at his jokes. His wife could not compromise on even issues of what to eat. You could easily tell these two were never a compatible couple. He says he loved traveling and explore new places, but his wife wanted just to be at home. She never wanted to go anywhere. So I guess it's safe to say, if you are not compatible with your partner, then you are more likely to cheat on them and to end up loving your mistress more than your wife. I was never attracted to my wife, I stayed for sake of family and society. Another I love my mistress more than wife story came from a man who said he was never attracted to his wife. It's so important to realize that physical attraction is very important in a relationship. If you are not attracted to your partner, then it's more likely that you will find someone else who you are attracted to. And once you find that person, it's more likely that you will fall in love with them and end up cheating on your wife. This man said that he stayed in his marriage for the sake of family and society. He knew that it would be frowned upon if he got a divorce, so he stayed in the relationship even though he was unhappy. Eventually, he started seeing someone else on the side and he realized that he loved her more than his wife. He said he could not divorce his wife because of the stigma attached to it, but he knew that he was in love with his mistress. According to the Gallup poll, 68% of men thinks it immoral to divorce your wife. So even though this man was unhappy in his marriage, he stayed in it because of the societal pressures. Wife hates people. A user by the name Kevin Cameron posted as an answer to a question, can a man love his mistress more than his wife? Saying that the reason why he loved his mistress more than his wife was a hater. He said that his wife was always suspicious of people and she always thought that everyone was out to get her. She was always paranoid and she would never let anyone get too close to her. He said while his wife was a super intelligent woman academically, she was an emotionless person. He says she hated people and had not friends. This is a person who talked behind anyone's back whom he thought was the only friend she had. Kevin said his wife was abusive too. He said he could not spend a day with her without a fight. This is clear why a married man like Kevin would find himself falling in love with his mistress more than his wife. Choosing mistress over wife. As you can see from this article, there are many reasons why a man might love his mistress more than his wife. In some cases, it's because the wife is incompatible with her husband. In other cases, it's because the husband is not attracted to his wife. And in some cases, it's because the wife is abusive or just plain hateful. Choosing a mistress over wife is not an easy decision for a man to make. It can ruin his family and social life. But sometimes, it's a decision that a man has to make if he wants to be happy. In the video Help Me Choose Between My Wife and My Mistress, a man expresses his failure to choose between his wife and his mistress. Sometimes mistresses use techniques to make a husband choose them over her. I love my mistress but can't leave my wife. For most straying men, loving their mistresses does not automatically mean they are ready to leave their wives for her. As you have seen, there are many reasons why even unhappy cheating men fail to leave their wives for their mistress. Why he can't leave his wife for you. The consensus is that married men never leave their wives. The reasons why they never leave are as numerous and varied as they are philandering men. Every man has a reason why he can't leave his family. In this article alone you have seen excuses such as social status, children, fear of divorce and many more. Statistics show that only 2% of men who cheat on their wives actually leave them for their mistresses. So if you are a mistress and you are hoping that your married lover will leave his wife for you, then you might want to think again. How often does a married man think about his mistress? Research has shown that men tend to think about their mistresses more often than they admit. Generally speaking, a man who is having an affair will think about his mistress anywhere from 10 to 60 times per day. It's safe to say that most married men think about their mistresses regularly, particularly when they're not getting the attention they need from their wives. How does a married man feel when his mistress leaves him? A married man will miss his mistress because they provide an outlet for physical and emotional needs that aren't being met in their marriage. Unless the wife realizes what's happening and is able to provide what's missing, the husband will continue to seek out his mistress and the cycle will continue. More than 74% of mistresses would agree to fulfilling many desires a man may not be able to express to his wife, such as sexual fantasies or intimacy levels that are higher or lower than what his wife is comfortable with. Why would a married man keep a mistress after being caught by the wife? There are many reasons why a married man might keep a mistress even after he's been caught by his wife. In some cases, the husband may be financially dependent on his mistress. In other cases, the husband may be emotionally attached to his mistress and not want to lose her. And in some cases, the husband may be afraid of getting divorced and losing everything he's worked for. Whatever the reason, it's clear that keeping a mistress is not an easy decision for a married man to make. It can ruin his family and social life. But sometimes, it's a decision that a man has to make if he wants to be happy. Conclusion. A man can love his mistress more than his wife because he is not compatible with his wife. His wife is not attractive to him. The wife is a hater and is always suspicious of people. His wife is abusive and they always fight when they are together. So, if you find yourself in a situation where you are not compatible with your wife or you are not attracted to her, then it's more likely that you will fall in love with your mistress and end up cheating on your wife. Of course, there are many other reasons why a man can love his mistress more than his wife, but these are some of the most common ones. We hope this article helped shed some light on the subject. Please comment below if you have any questions or would like to share your own story. Visit MNkima. Link in description.